Okay, like normal, chance to digest the film yesterday. A couple things on really each phase. Starting defensively, proud of the effort. Really throughout the night, I thought the guys executed the plan. The run fits, changing things up, making it physical, running to the ball. You look at the third down plays. I think they were of 10, including a fourth down stop. I mean, a lot to like. Huge part too is the forced season high, 2 turnovers, take the ball away twice. One of them sets up a touchdown. That was great to see. Still, obviously want to be able to finish better in the call it the 2-minute drill there at the end of the game. Offensively, I thought Alessio again played pretty tough in that pocket. Believe there's only 2 sacks, but voided, took some serious hits. Thought he did a good job with the ball again, in regards to taking care of it. Besides the one there at the end of the half, and that really play was not executed. That's not totally on him. Tight ends had a nice game. Contributing in the pass game, but again trying to in the run game. That's a physical, good group on defense. They do what they do. Nothing on the film yesterday, just like glaringly, they changed schematically. Iowa just knows what they are and play a high-end defense, and we did not have enough fourth quarter-wise offensively. Got to get some first downs, get the clock moving, and when we were not productive there in the fourth quarter. Obviously on the special teams end, early, covering it, liked the challenge going in, but wanted to adjust there. Was pleased with the offense getting the punts executed when they did. But then obviously in the fourth or the second half on the execution of special teams needed to be better and made a difference on a couple plays field position wise there. So that's kind of recapping those things. Again, regrouping this yesterday, Sunday, in regards to this team. Another opportunity this weekend. I do think they're going to be excited about playing one more time here in Detroit, knowing this was on the schedule, big-time place. Guys from the state or from out Detroit or just outside of it, guys are excited about that opportunity, and the opportunity is to play a Maryland team. They've got a bunch of weapons on it. They've had a rough patch similar to us and all of that, but I know they're going to want to finish things the right way, and we got an opportunity to do it with them. Young quarterback that's pretty electric. They've been great and really taken the ball away. You look at them defensively, what they've created, turnover-wise, one of the best in the country, so they're going to have our full attention that way.
John, have you ever been to Ford Field before?
No, I have not.
I guess, we seem to ask you this is about the same question every week, but how have you seen the team respond with, there's just one game left on the schedule and, playing for pride and that kind of stuff?
Yep, yesterday, consistent, I'll say it, consistent in, disappointment, consistent understanding that a play or two would have made a difference. I love the idea of the ownership in regards to all 3 phases, seeing how they contributed to having us tightly in that game and then contributed to us coming up just a little bit short. All 3 phases could take some ownership that way. And, I have no other way to look at it besides the way they've gone, call it the last month. I totally anticipated they're going to bow up again, back to work tomorrow morning, and come out flying around, excited to play and finishing things right this Saturday.
I mean, 8 straight losses is obviously a lot. As a coach, when you hear rumblings outside about job security and everything else, how do you process that? How do you process it with your staff in particular, whose families and livelihoods are at stake? And what do you have in terms of response for the fan base that seems to be kind of backlashing?
I think what we ask our players, and I go back to a mantra of keeping the main thing, and what we can control this week is our preparation. And so starting with us as coaches, preparation, always digging deeper to find the best positions to put these guys in, coming up with plans schematically that give us the best chance. Think about the energy asked for our players Tuesday through Friday, getting ready, asking the same thing of coaches. We use the modeling the way, and it starts with myself to the staff of modeling this consistent approach with optimistic through the week. 8 straight is a tough road. There's no other way to say it. It is tough, and That doesn't mean, what's the alternative? What, you just quit, you run, you start blaming others? It's like, no, keeping the main thing. This week, we've been going at it and deeply believing in these guys, and we want it for them to come out on the right side of the scoreboard, and that's the approach this week.
Jonathan, going off that, I guess, just how confident are you that you and the staff will be back in this position next year?
Yeah, I think in this landscape of college football, what it is, that's always a solid question. Look across the country and changes and moving, and that's why I go back to understanding that each time you sign up college coaching nowadays, it's a week-to-week thing, and we got another week to go do it. I'm still really confident in the people that are in the building right now. Obviously, we got to find ways to get things better, and excited about the opportunity to keep doing that.
Has anything been communicated in black and white to you about the future?
No.
Has that been unhelpful in some ways? I mean, signing day is next week. When you look at that and whatever other plans might be in place?
Again, you go back to this approach and you understand the landscape that you're in, and so that's where we're locked in on tomorrow's practice and headed toward this game. And on the recruiting side, we've been working on that for a year, right, on a recruiting class and relationship building, and then you forecast in the next couple of months how much rosters are fluid, right, and the opportunity that is January for us.
Firstly, what is Aiden Child's status now for the last game?
Hopeful. It was not cleared this last Saturday. I'm hopeful that he will be cleared this Saturday.
Would he play?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, we'd love. Again, both those guys got some trust in them. Their skill sets are a little bit different, and so if both guys are available this Saturday, there's a chance, both would get in the game.
In the bigger picture, how stunned or disappointed or shocked are you, anything, that this has fallen apart like it has so far? You didn't expect this.
Yeah, we did not anticipate having a stretch like this, no question. Understood, though, that how difficult this league is, right? And it is tough to win. Sometimes, these words, it's tough to win. It's easy to lose. One or two plays really can set a game in the wrong direction. And we've put a stretch into it. I look at it, 2 of the last 3, we've got the lead with under 2 minutes. And so, it's tough to win. You got to be able to finish out, and every detail matters out of all three phases.
Are you confident that you and your staff, if given the opportunity, can turn this thing around in the future?
Yeah, 100%. Again, been through some tough times before as a previous head coach at another spot, as an assistant. Some of the momentum culturally where we're at, really confident. I think we get a clear idea of where we need to improve, and so excited about that opportunity.
I'm wondering, you're now basically through 2 years here. What have you found about I don't want to say the difficulties, but maybe some of the challenges of the Michigan State job, and what you've kind of seen from the fan base? Because obviously their passion for the situation has kind of been bubbling a little bit, but I'm wondering what you see about that's different maybe from other places you've been.
Yeah, I've been to some places where there's a passionate fan base, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's what you want, is to have a passionate fan base. And so with what comes with that, right, when it doesn't, you don't get on the right side of the scoreboard. It's going to be a passion in a direction you don't want. But it's not like you can pick and choose here. And so there's still a lot that is really good about Michigan State, the historic of the program, the location, the conference it plays in. When the Spartan Stadium is packed and going, that's a great home field advantage. There is a lot to like about Michigan State.
Just out of curiosity, are you not restricted by the 74-man travel roster because this would technically be a home game? Is that?
No, it's being treated as a neutral site game, and so 74 will be on the sideline.
Okay. Is there any particular moment in your career, whether as an assistant or a head coach, that you can draw on specifically to the moment that you're in right now as far as getting the team up?
Well, I don't know, but getting the team up, but I've been through this. I've been coaching over 2 decades now, and they haven't won every time you lined up. You've been on a losing streak before. You draw on all those experiences, me individually, but also the staff, most of these coaches. Like I said, these guys are pros. They've been through this. It's not easy. You're always trying to find answers. That's been the same approach. And then that's why I go back to the culture we got around. It's not all just about pointing blame at one direction. Side of the ball, individual person. It is a group effort to win and to lose.
Kind of on the flip side of that, when you've lost 8 in a row and you see all the work that goes in, and this, I think this is a team that's been playing hard and coming back each week and giving their best. How gratifying and satisfying would it be to get that moment in the locker room at the end of the season after a win? Because I know the fans will probably, not a bowl game, but like internally, I would have to think that could mean a ton and just the good feeling.
Yeah, without question. Winning, that's what we sign up to do, is to win ultimately. And so, yeah, for it to be very gratifying for all the work that this group has put in. Think about that, those players in the locker room. Yeah, you want them to come out on the right side because they deserve, in a lot of ways, the effort they put in. Now we got to get executed for 60 minutes to earn that. But yes, going out on a win would be huge for the guys.
Just wondering where you guys have sort of pinpointed some things on special teams. When you look at, of course, some of the returns there, but a couple have been blocked lately. I'm just wondering, different games, different things, where sort of your review is at there in terms of trying to tighten. Because in the first month of the season, it was a super clean, operation. It was sort of a strength for you guys, and at different times, it hasn't been lately.
Yeah, I think there's multiple facets to it. One, we're getting on tape, right? People recognize what we were doing and then challenging that. A couple of injuries here or there. We've mixed some guys in. We need to execute it better. Sometimes it comes down to the athletes out there. This last week, I think it's a good player. We got 2 true freshmen that have had really good reps covering. And then there's a couple of them we need to get the guy on the ground. We don't do it. So it's been a mix of some of the issues there, and we want to tighten it up to finish well this Saturday.
Also curious what you've been hearing and seeing from Nick. It just sort of seems like he's been a little out of sorts lately, not just the production, but he has a drop. He's put the ball on the ground a couple of times. Is he fully healthy? Is he fully engaged? And sort of what are your conversations or observations with him?
My observation, this means a lot to him. I think he is playing really hard, maybe pressing to an extent. We haven't talked deeply on that in any way, but I just know he's deeply passionate about this thing. He wants to make a difference in the game. And I think on a couple of snaps over the last few weeks, that might have held him back a little bit.
Over here. So you've been here just about 2 calendar years, and it's come up earlier this year, like how the clock is kind of sped up in this era of college football. Like when it's this uncertain 2 years in, do you really think that's kind of like a reasonable timeline for you to be in to turn around a program so quickly?
Yeah, reasonable timeline, this and that. Yes, it's sped up the landscape, understanding the competitiveness. There's a financial component to this, understanding that. I know that, establishing a deep culture and going about things, that doesn't happen in a microwave. At the same time, we cannot put this thing in a slow cook, take forever mentality, 6-7 hours versus 30 seconds in a microwave. And so I say it that way just to understand the landscape we're in, but I do think there's some steps in building that are really important for our foundational culture, and we've been doing that approach. So I go back to this season where we're at. We've short in half the games that we've been right around. If those are on the other side, I think we're celebrating a lot of things. We came up short in half the games that were really, really tight. The other 4, we got to get ourselves way more competitive, and that's how the year's gone.
Jonathan, you mentioned the financial component. We've seen, obviously, you're not the only coach who's facing criticism in the country, but we've seen others, including Michael Oxley. I think he's year 8. They've lost 7 straight, and he's coming back when the announcement, significant investment in the roster. Just what you think of that direction they're taking as opposed to, some of the others.
Yeah, obviously really locked in on those guys this week, and so I can't speak deeply on knowing their exact situation. I do know that guy's a good football coach. Just looking at the tape, the schemes they're running, proficient offense year in and year out. Looking at them defensively, what they've created, but I can't speak deeply to their kind of all aspects of their situation. Besides, I got a lot of respect for a guy who's been in this league for a long time and does a lot of good things.
We've talked so much about your future. I'm wondering about maybe the future of some of these players that you've gotten, especially the young guys. It seems like we've talked about the punt team. Keyshawn Williams has kind of shown out the last few weeks. I'm wondering what you've seen with him and maybe some of the other young guys that are coming along that maybe you could get a look this week or whatever their futures might hold.
Yep, Keyshawn's a good example. You talk about a guy contributing, especially in the back half of the season, who's a true, true freshman. We're getting some meaningful reps out of guys that have bright futures. I think about the two redshirt freshmen starting O-linemen that we're running out there. The redshirt freshman quarterback we've got, Brandon Tullis, is in year 2 doing this thing. Aiden West, true freshman, out there battling and making some real plays. There is a good contingent of guys that have bright futures in front of them. That, yeah, we want to be coaching for a long time around here who can really push us over the top over the next year.
You guys have faced a lot of good quarterbacks this year of different sort of seasoning levels. Obviously, a young guy at Maryland. What are you noticing about him sort of sets him apart, or what makes him unique and
Can make all the
difficult?
throws, competitive, athletic, can move around, extend the play, doesn't take a lot of sacks. And that's, sacks, again, 11-man football, but the quarterback, avoiding, throwing it away. And for a true freshman, he plays at a high level and he's really talented. Thanks, guys.